How far did you get with your education?
GED.
You dropped out at some point.
You could say that.
Explain.
Well, I went to the last school I went to was Woodham, and I just stopped going to school, got in the streets, and I stopped going. And then when I was going, I just wasn't going for the right reason. So when the streets take control, it just be over.
What grade was this?
11th grade, yeah.
Now, we'll talk about that in a little bit more depth. But first, let's start with this. And for time reference, it's August 2021 now. But what schools did you attend even before that one growing up? Can you name your elementary school, middle school?
Yeah, I went to Lincoln Park Elementary. I went to Montclair Elementary for 5th grade. And left there, went to Wedgwood Middle. From Wedgwood Middle, I went to Scamia Charter. I went to Smoke Gainer. I went to Dixon Education. I went to Biggs Education when they changed the name. I went to S.L. Jones. I went to a few different high schools because I got kicked out of this one, got kicked out of this one.
And were you getting
I
kicked?
went to Woodham High School.
That was the final high school.
That was the final high school, yeah.
Now, did you name every high school or did you skip any?
Nah, I named all of them.
Okay. Were they all the same reasons for getting kicked out or were they different as well?
Nah, different reasons.
Care to share?
I say Smoke Gainer, I got kicked out. I don't remember why. It's been so long ago. But Scamia Charter, I got kicked out. The assistant principal was looking through the window and somebody passed me some weed and I grabbed it and put it back in a little plant. He watched me do it the whole time and came right in, got the weed, took us to the dean's office. I mean, we ain't tell on each other, took us both to juvenile. I got kicked out from there. Dixon Education, I think I got kicked out for not coming. Woodham, I got kicked out for the same thing, basically not coming to school.
And when it comes to these schools, they were public or private schools?
They were public schools, but they was like, let me see what you call it, when you get kicked out of regular schools, what they call alternative schools. Yeah, they was alternative schools.
Now, what kind of kid were you in class, generally speaking?
I was bad. I was bad.
Where did this stem from?
I think it came from just a house of 5 boys just being in the house and all day just doing the same thing. I believe that's what it came from.
Where were you on the ladder of the 5?
3rd one.
In the middle?
Yeah.
Middle child?
Yeah, I was bad as hell.
Same mother and father for all 5?
Nah, same mom and daddy for 4. And my oldest brother, different dad, same mom.
Now, were you part of a certain crowd?
Nah, I wouldn't say that. I mean, when you coming up in certain places, you just got certain crowds that you hang around. Just from coming up in the hood or coming up from wherever you're from. I wouldn't say it was a certain crowd, though.
Did anyone attend your schools end up becoming well-known or famous themselves?
Not that I know of.
When it came to being bad, how bad did it get?
What you mean by that?
These reasons that you were expelled in school, was that how bad it got for you?
Yeah. Getting expelled, getting suspended, fighting. I mean, I say the worst one was when I went to juvenile. That was the worst one.
And what ended up happening with that?
With the juvenile situation.
Yeah.
I got to the house, got my ass towed up, and my mama didn't come get me. My brother had to come get me. She said she wasn't coming to get me. She left me down there. My brother came and got me. When I got to the house, she towed my ass up. I left. I think I went out that night with my little homeboys, and then when I ended up trying to come back, she wouldn't let me in the house. It was late. I had to sleep on the porch.
When it came to fights, what led to them?
You know, different things. People clowning and playing at the wrong time, or, you know, some kids wanted to talk about your mama. Just different things.
Would you say you were bullied?
Nah, I wouldn't say I was bullied.
Teased?
I just say, you know, when you, like you said, a certain crowd gonna want to clown and joke and play and situations like that.
These fights, you initiated them or you were defending yourself?
Defending myself. Nah. A couple of them I probably initiated by probably talking about somebody's mom or something, and they got mad, or talking about somebody clowning back on them and they took offense and it led to something else.
How'd you learn how to fight?
I mean, just growing up with a house full of boys, that's all we did.
Do you remember your first fight?
Yeah. My first fight was with my brother, my oldest brother. Yeah, and I wouldn't even call it a fight. He beat my ass.
Remember what age this was? Or what grade?
No, but I know I was in, I want to say middle school.
When it came to fighting, did you fight fair or dirty?
I mean, fighting was fighting. I mean, if I can't whoop you with just throwing hands, I pick something up. Fighting is fighting. Back when I was growing up, it wasn't no rule. They said it wasn't anyway.
What about now? How do you look at things?
I mean, I done got older now, but I still fight if it's about, like, a respect situation or something, but I try not to ain't lead to nothing like that, but I will, though, if, you know, if I got to.
What about fighting fair or dirty?
I mean, it could go either way, however they want to take it.
Ever sucker punch?
I wouldn't call it a sucker punch.
What is your opinion on sucker punching now?
I say knocking somebody out, knocking the nigga out, like, I don't know.
What's the worst you've injured someone in a fight?
My mama was staying in Marino Court, and we actually jumped on a guy, and had his head, he just had like a lot of trauma to his head, but nothing major though.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, what's the worst you've been injured from a fight?
I ain't really never been injured. The hardest I ever been hit, I mean, I done been knocked down, but I ain't never been put in a hospital or nothing like that. I done had a few nights, but I ain't never been put in a hospital or nothing.
And resorting back to the injury on that person's head, did you ever end up seeing him again?
Yeah, we seen him again, but he was kind of retarded, kind of slow. He kind of initiated the fight because he always used to do stuff like come outside and, hey, what you looking at my old lady for? Like stuff like that. And one day he came out there and said it, and it just went from there.
But when you do see him again, was it still a beef per se? Were
Nah,
you guys cool or?
It wasn't no beef. It was dead after that.
Have guns ever been pulled in a physical fight?
Not that I could say, or not just a regular fight and nobody pulling a gun, nah.
Ever been I can't remember, when it came to the juvenile situation, that resulted from a fight?
Yeah. Nah. That resulted from the weed.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Have you ever been arrested for a fight?
Nah.
Ever worried about the possibility of death in a fight?
Nah, not really. Because when you fight, I mean, in my point of view, I look at it as they trying to kill me, so I'm trying to kill them. That's how I look at a fight.
Killing leads to death.
Yeah.
But that was never a worry.
Nah.
When it came to fighting, what did those instances teach you? What did you learn from that, if anything? Fighting overall.
I mean, sometimes it ain't worth it. And sometimes you gotta handle your business.
Now, when it came to music, ever took a music class in school?
Nah.
Were you the type that ever freestyled or battle rapped other classmates?
Yeah, just joking around.
Did you have a song you were promoting back then?
Nah, I ain't never take it serious.
Ever participate in talent shows growing up?
Nah.
What about sports? Did you play any sports?
Nah, I tried out for the basketball team and ended up getting suspended right after that. So, nah, I ain't play sports growing up.
You do end up dropping out.
Yeah.
11th grade. What was your parents' reaction?
I mean, my mom's reaction was she always wanted us in school, wanted us to do what we supposed to do, get an education. But, I mean, once you get a taste of the other side, it's like ain't really nothing that she can do. You know what I'm saying?
Was this something you tell her, or was this something she finds out you dropped out?
I mean, I never told her, but eventually she found out because she might come home early from work and see me at home or anything. Teacher might call, oh, he ain't been here today, or he got here fourth period, like stuff like that. I ain't never tell her myself.
You do end up getting a GED, though.
Yeah, I got a GED.
Some people don't. Why did you?
I got it basically just to have it, basically, because sometimes you can't do nothing without it. Certain things you can't do without it.
So this was something you were self-motivated to do? Or were you motivated by others to get it?
I say self-motivated.
Now, was getting a GED easy or hard?
I mean, the hardest part was the TAPE test, because they bringing up stuff that you ain't learned in years. So I say it's kind of a little harder.
You passed the first time you take it?
Nah. It took me about 2-3 tries. I did it online anyway.
Looking back, was dropping out the right decision? Or you wish you would have finished?
I mean,
You wish you would have finished high school instead of the GED route?
I wish I would have finished because I know it would have been so much more stuff I could have did. But I don't regret that.
Because?
I mean, it's life. And the cards was already dealt before we got here.
What did this entire experience teach you? What did you learn from this, if anything? The whole dropping out GED situation?
I mean, it taught me a lot. That's why I try to stay on my kids about schooling. When they come up in school, I try to teach them a better route than the route that I took. So I feel like it taught me a lot because it actually like made me who I am. You know what I'm saying? And with what I learned, I can teach them. And just hope that they don't fall victim like I did.
How many kids do you have at this point?
I got 7.
And same mother for all 7?
Nah. I got 5 by 1. I got a little girl by 1, and I got a little boy by 1.
What's the status of your relationship with all 3 mothers?
I mean, we all cool. I mean, I ain't beefing with nobody, So I try to keep a good relationship, but you know how that is.
What age were you when you had your first child?
17.
Teen father,
Yeah.
teen dad, teen parent.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
I mean, it was kind of hard because back when I was coming up, you ain't have a lot of people like looking out for you and like you do now. Like in my generation, like it wasn't really like that. It's like it was hard. I mean, trying to work and it's my first child and trying to be in a relationship all at the same time and like it ain't something I'd do again as far as like the way that it went then. Nah, I wouldn't.
Your first child, was that something that was on purpose?
Nah, it wasn't on purpose. We just were having fun.
You did mention 5 with one mother, 1 with another, and 1 with another.
Yeah.
When you do have this 5 with 1, was it straight through 5?
Yeah, it was straight through 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody's watching this and they're about to be a teen parent.
Yeah.
Maybe they just had one and they're starting to be a teen parent. I know circumstances could be different for everybody. What do you tell someone, generally speaking?
Keep hustling, keep going. Don't give up. I mean, because your first child, you're going to treat them like the world. You know what I'm saying? You're going to want to give them the world because it's your first child. So keep going is all I can tell you.
And for chronological purposes, because we have established a timeline in this interview, the child came after you had dropped out?
Nah, I still was in school. But around that time, you could say, because I was in the verge of dropping out. Yeah, you could say that.
Did that have anything to do with that decision of dropping out as well? Having that child?
It kind of did because I felt like I got to be a provider now. You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing somebody in this world that's going to look up to me, so I got to have some type of money to take care of them.
When it comes to your own parents, were they teen parents themselves?
Yeah. Yeah, they were.
What were their roles when you had your first child?
I mean, there wasn't no rules. I was grown then.
So they didn't help you in that situation at all?
As far as like helping take care of the child.
In any sort of capacity?
You grown, young. I mean, that's this grandbaby, but you grown, young. You made him, you gonna take care of him. That's what it was.
Were there any thoughts? Do you want to say something? Okay. Were there any thoughts on furthering your education after you do earn your GED?
Nah.
Why not?
I mean, 'cause I really never been a big fan of school. I mean, I know it's to help you and educate you, but I ain't like school.
What didn't you like about it?
Just sitting there all day. I mean, just sitting there all day, basically. Like, and I wouldn't say I ain't like it. It was just certain classes I ain't like. Social studies, science. I ain't like stuff like that because most of the stuff I didn't know.